Hey, this is Scott, and today we're here to talk about this new Fresnel lens, the Fresnel 2X from Aputure. So this is not going to be like a long-term use type review. I've only got this just a few days ago. Aputure did send this to me, but they told me specifically you don't have to create any content for this, but I wanted to go ahead and introduce this to you anyway. Overall, this is a really great improvement on the first Fresnel lens, which I don't have here to show you side by side, but I have used. And this is improved on it in a lot of ways. So we're going to talk about how it's improved and also just generally what this will do for you if you've never used anything like it before. So a Fresnel lens is, like the name suggests, basically a lens for your light. And this one in particular is going to both magnify the output, the power of your light, the brightness, it'll make it brighter, and we'll test that in just a second. And it will also allow you to have some control over the spill of your light. It's going to create a circle of light with a nice soft fall off around the edges, but you can kind of dial that in for how large it is. It'll give you anywhere from a 12-degree beam angle to a 40-degree beam angle in this case. And that will just, like I said, control the size of that spot of light that you have. And this one in particular has made some really nice steps up over the first version. So let's go ahead and talk about those, even though I'm sorry, I don't have it here specifically to show you side by side. So the first thing that I noticed is that this comes with a nice little carrying case. And I believe that's something that did not come with the first version. It's always nice to have something like this to, transport it more easily and safely, especially with the glass in here. And the build quality and the materials and everything are pretty much identical to the 120D or 120D Mark II and all that. They're typical Aputure carry cases, so if you're familiar with those, which you probably should be, then you'll know exactly what to expect here. But it's just a round form-fitting case, and it does have this little handle on here, which is really nice. Makes it easy to pick up and carry around, and that's all there is to it. But it is very nice to have this, so that's a nice little added touch here. As for the lens itself, the size of the front glass on here has been increased over the first version, and there's actually now a piece of glass in the rear of this. The first version was just an empty shell with the glass in the front, but this now has a magnifying glass in the rear of it that will help to focus your light on that front piece of glass so you're not wasting light by letting it leak out on the sides. And this will also, in effect, help you to get that brighter output by using this. The body of this does have a little metal, around the front here, but it's largely plastic or, maybe possibly some kind of composite material, but it feels really good. And this is going to be plenty heat resistant, and it has enough ventilation and everything. You can use this on even the larger 300D, no problem whatsoever. And it does feel really good compared to the first version. And also how it works is a lot nicer, a lot more kind of matured than the first version. In the first version, you would just loosen a little screw here and physically slide it in and out to adjust that beam angle. But with this, the whole body will turn. And let me just show you this on this camera over here. As you twist the whole body, it will extend and retract. And that's just a very simple way to control this here. So you can, it's in my hand right now, so it's a little bit awkward. But when you put this on the light, this is very easy to use like this. And much easier and much, like I said, more mature, more professional feeling than the first version. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it's, lightweight. There's some solid glass in there, but I think it's as lightweight as it could be in this design, but it feels really well made. And just everything combined with that new twisting design, the fact that this comes with a nice quality carrying case and everything, this feels like a really nice second attempt at this. Not attempt, I guess they succeeded pretty much, but it feels like a nice second version of this from Aputure. So I'm really excited to start using this more and more in both videos and photo. I think this will be really fun to use in photo as well. But for now, let's go ahead and just show you those tests of the brightness and the effect that this will give you. So I have the lens now on the Aputure 120D Mark I, and I have that on 50%, about 1.5 or 2 meters away from the wall. And I have the lens on the 40-degree flood setting. I'll put my camera settings up on screen now so you can see kind of how bright this is, but let's go ahead and dial this into 12 degrees so you can see how that changes it. You can see here there's a really good amount of fine control that you have over this. And when I'm out here at 12 degrees, you can see, or at least it looks on my waveforms, that this did get a little bit brighter. And even though that is a very tight, controlled spot of light on the wall there, it has a really nice soft fall off around the edges. And you don't have that light spill issue that you could see with the Mark I of this. And again, I'm sorry, I don't have that to show you side by side here, but trust me that there was a lot of light spillage with, some light around here with the Mark I, whereas with this, obviously you don't have it. So really good job here. So let's go ahead and check this out compared to just a standard reflector. I'll go ahead and do this in real time just so you can see how everything's changing. And as I take off this lens, you can see now that this is just the bare LED chip. It has quite a wide spread, of course, and of course it's also dimmer than with the lens on there. And as I put just a standard reflector on there, you can see that maybe it's a little bit different from just the bare LED, but still it is not as bright as with the Fresnel lens. So they did a really good job of being able to magnify the actual output of your light. So if you really want the most power from your light, then the Fresnel lens is going to get that for you. And that can be really useful in a lot of situations, especially when you're shooting through layers of diffusion or something like that. If you have a silk up there or you're bouncing it off a wall or off a ceiling, the Fresnel lens is going to get you more output, so it'll be an even brighter source that you can reflect back onto your subject. One last thing that I did want to check out, and I'll just put this side by side up on screen now, is how this lens will affect the color temperature of the light, or if it has any effect on the color temperature of the light. So again, I'm putting that up on screen side by side now. You can see if there's any effect on the gray card at the center, but also around the edge of that light. I'll check it out when I put it on the computer, and then I will put the results up on screen now for you. So if you have any questions or comments, let me know down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you as fast as I can. If you like this video or found it helpful, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, share it if you'd like, subscribe to see more in the future, and as always, thank you for watching.